Hello, 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 and welcome. In today's interview, I'm going to be talking about how to start a business with the amazing certified sleep consultant and advanced newborn care specialist that is Tamiko Kelly of Sleep Well, Wake Happy. Com. And just in case you don't know me, before we carry on, let me just introduce myself. My name is Nina Dafe, and I am the founder and the editor of the Far Above Rubies Collection.com, where I help amazing ladies just like yourself to know your worth, your power, and your purpose so you can step up, step out, and shine as the beautiful woman of God that you are. And if that sounds like something that is right up your street, then I would definitely recommend hitting the subscribe button below. Okay? So, before the end of this video, you are going to know how to get over the fear involved in starting your own business. You're also going to know how to find your purpose and also your profitable business idea. And you're going to know how to kind of get rid of that 9 to 5 money mindset in order to have a business mindset and much more. And before we get into all of that, what I'm quickly going to do is introduce Tamiko, but stay tuned because we're going to be diving into all that juicy stuff right after. See, so good that I started to dance. Hey. So hold tight as I introduce her, okay? So, Tamiko Kelly is the founder of Sleep Well, Wake Happy, and the creator of the Feel Like Yourself Again baby sleep solution. As a certified sleep consultant and advanced newborn care specialist, Tamiko helps tired mums feel like themselves again by teaching them how to get their babies sleeping through the night. She has spent over 50,000 hours sleep training babies, and many of her clients have called her a miracle worker as they have been overjoyed after her methods restored sleep in their homes. Tamiko is also an international speaker who has shared the stage with Dr. Harvey Karp of The Happiest Baby of the Block and Dr. Jen Mann of VH1's Couples Therapy. Tamiko's sleep advice has been featured on Yahoo Finance, Care.com, Mum.me, and she has appeared as a guest expert on Austin's ABC affiliate TV show, Studio 512. You can go to www.busymumsguidetobabysleeptraining.com to receive her 4 best tips for getting your baby on schedule so that they can finally start sleeping through the night. And without any further ado, we're going to get right into the interview. Hey Tamiko, how are you doing?
I'm good, Nina. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you once again for, agreeing to this interview, being here with me. Well, evening for you, night for me. Now, as I said before, I've kind of already introduced you to everybody, but just in your own words, could you just let our lovely ladies know kind of who you are and also what it is that you do as well?
Yeah, so I help tired mamas feel like themselves again by teaching them how to get their babies sleeping through the night. My name is Tamiko, in case your listeners missed it. I've been a baby sleep consultant since 2008. So I've basically spent over 50,000 hours of my time sleep training babies.
Wow.
So the moms who work more closely with me are able to put their babies down without all the drama of the rocking, the bouncing, the feeding the sleep all night.
Yeah.
They're able to spend more time with their older kiddos once the baby's down for the night. And most importantly, they're able to do it more often with their husbands, right, ladies? So, we got to get our groove on. So,
I love how you said that's most important. Oh my gosh, no, that sounds absolutely amazing. How does one become, a baby sleep expert? It's not something that you hear, a lot of. So how did you kind of end up going down that road? And I guess how has your faith kind of fed into your journey so far as well?
Yeah, so I actually come from a long line of entrepreneurs. So my grandparents had a grocery store. My mom was a workout instructor. My dad was a photographer. So I grew up watching people run businesses.
Amazing.
It was mostly side hustles though, right? It's like they still have their corporate job. And so as a young girl, I already knew that I wanted to have my own full-time business. And I grew up in the church. So I was literally at church probably 5 days a week, girl, opening it up and closing it down. So going to Sunday school, going to BYTU on Sundays, pastors' anniversaries. I was in the choir, the missionary. I mean, I was, whatever was going on at church, girl, I was there.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds familiar to me.
So, you know, my parents definitely made sure I understood the importance of faith and believing in God, and you know, using Him as a lamp to kind of guide us on our journey. So for me, I already knew that I was called to be an entrepreneur. I was young, so I didn't know like the technical name for it, but I knew I wanted to have my own business, and so I just didn't know how that would happen. I actually was a nanny, and I actually worked in corporate America too. So for all the ladies who listen who are like have a side hustle, thinking about side hustle, I worked in corporate America. I actually hated my job, and I would actually do date nights for families when I lived in San Francisco, so Silicon Valley. So that's how the journey into becoming a baby sleep expert started. I would, you know, care for babies or even young kiddos during the night, and the parents would come home and be like, "Oh my God, Tamiko, what did you do? Like, she never sleeps, or he never sleeps. How did you work your magic?" And I just, you know, began to teach people what naturally came to me. And then literally overnight I had a business. One mom told another mom, like, this is back in the day when we didn't have, you know, Google and Facebook. They put it on the Yahoo group forum. And literally, you know, one person put it on there and they were like, "Oh my God, what's her phone number?" And they were literally calling me when I was at work during, and you know, on conference calls and in meetings. "Hey girls, can you come to my house?" And
that's amazing.
Keep sleep. So it was literally overnight I had a business. So it was a very wild ride for sure.
Wow. And did you, I don't know how because I know that there are some people, for example, you know, they feel called, for example, to go into business, or you know, things like what happened to you, you know, happen where it comes quite naturally and things, but you know, sometimes fear can kick in, or you know, self-doubt, we hold ourselves back. You know, was it like that for you, or did you kind of jump in, you know, feet first, and you know that this was just what you were called to do?
Yeah, no, girl, it's like fear was real. The hashtag, the struggle was real. So I knew a long time ago. So here's how this worked. And like, this is so funny. So basically, once I started sleep training babies, I would literally leave work early to do this. And I had built up a high-end level of clientele. So I was literally getting paid more money to watch babies than I was getting paid in my corporate job.
That is amazing.
But even with all of that, I still was like, I don't know if I want to leave. Like, I don't really know. Then my dad died when I was actually in San Francisco. So I'm from Houston. So, you know, all across the country, went home, did all that. And that was really like my wake up call, basically. So I basically took a year off. During that year, I was a fashion stylist. So, you know, my background is, I also have a fashion background. I started working in retail at 16 years old and did that, you know, forever. And so I basically got into fashion in San Francisco. Anybody who lives in San Francisco, like, you know, like that's like a fashion hub. So it's very easy to dip your toe into fashion. So I took a year off. I was a stylist. I did high-end fashion shows, magazines, editorial work, personal styling for clients. So I did a lot of things in the fashion industry, and I was doing very well, but it just wasn't fulfilling to me, you know. And I think in the back of my mind, I knew that this was not what I was supposed to be doing. Like, yeah, I'm good at it and it's just great, but this is not what I've really been called to do. So after that year, I got a job in corporate in fashion, which I mean, I absolutely loved that job. I worked in the photo studio for Banana Republic, and I was on the team who did all of the men's merchandising for the entire company of stores. So all the stores all over the world, we did it for. So it was a great experience, great, fun times, everything, was great. But it got to a point back in 2008 when the bubble burst. I was still in San Francisco. And out there, it really hit us hard. Like other parts of the country may not have been hard, but there it was really, really hard. And that's when I came back to Houston, still working a job. So still hadn't left.
Yeah.
Came back to Houston, got a couple of retail jobs, and I got one where it was, more, again, I worked in corporate retail and also store level. So all of my retail rats who are watching, girl, I feel you. Those crazy holiday schedules and working till midnight and doing closings where you close and you open the next day. So I get it. So basically, so now we're in 2014. I got a new store manager in this role I had, and he was just a pain in my behind. I mean, he just was not a very nice person.
Yeah.
Something happened with an employee where they basically fabricating lies against me, and it was just, I was reprimanded for it. It was just a big mess, girl. And so basically that situation and the frustration from working in that environment is what caused me to finally say, okay, God, I hear you now.
Yes.
And now I am ready to make the move.
God definitely has a way of, he'll talk to us, he'll prod us, he'll nudge us. Right. And then when we're not listening, he will do whatever it takes to get our attention, right? And if that, that scripture, I was just about to say that, that scripture, like an eagle that stirs up his nest, literally, I will rock this nest until you do what you're supposed to do.
Do what I'm telling you to do. So, I mean, literally, I quit that job, girl. I had no backup plan. I had no savings.
Wow. So you
I was just like, I'm done. Like, I cannot do this anymore. And so, people were like, oh my God, you're so crazy. Like, you don't know what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, yeah, I'm good. So literally, I think I quit. 2 weeks, I took some time, vacation, see people and have fun. And literally, I had my first client within 10 days of quitting. I had made $20,000, girl.
That is amazing.
And so all the people who were just like, oh, you'll never make it. Oh, you don't know what you're doing. Those people are still broke, busted, and disgusted.
Look at that.
And I am over here living the dream.
Absolutely.
So, I definitely encourage, whoever's watching us, if God has put something on your heart to do, even if you can't see it, even if you don't understand it, even if it's terrifying for you to do, because maybe you're a mom who's supporting the family, maybe you're the primary income earner for your family, maybe you've always worked in corporate and never done anything else. I mean, just follow the instructions that he gives you. Do not be like me and take 10 years to finally listen, with the first nudge. It really will make your life so much simpler, for sure.
Absolutely. I'm gonna actually co-sign. I'm gonna co-sign on that because I think even in kind of starting this website, the Fire Above Ruby's collection and everything like that, I went through a long period of time where God was nudging me, and I was kind of feeling a call to leadership in some way, shape or form, but didn't really know what that is or what it was that he kind of had for me. But if I was going to compare myself to anyone, it was Jonah. I'm not doing it. I would just want to be in the background and as you can see, that did not work. It did not work out. Like I said, when God is ready to kind of turn up the heat and just say, look, there are people. I think what I'm also hearing, even just listening to you, is that there are people who are attached to our lives. And it's not just about us, it's actually about the impact that he wants us to make and the service that he wants us to give as well, right?
Yeah, no, definitely, for sure. I think impact I think that was my word for, was it last year? Wow. Every year I pick a word, and I think impact was my word last year because I really, I truly believe we as women, regardless if you are a minority woman, or if you're a transgender woman, doesn't matter to me. If you identify as a woman, we typically have been programmed to be nurturers and take care of everybody else first, and then leave ourselves to the back burner.
So true, so
and
true.
That can lead us down that path of resistance. So even though we hear God telling us, hey, go right, we want to go left, make 2 turns, then, go down the street, go, stop at the corner store and then go shop at Nordstrom. Instead of doing, he said, stay on this straight line, girl. Do not exit off the freeway. Just keep going straight and we're going to get to where we have to go.
So true. So true. And when you were hearing because especially with what you're just saying about nurturing everyone else, I think sometimes there can be a thing of people pleasing. So we put everyone else's wishes and thoughts, and the confidence, I think, is a big thing for a lot of women as well. So how did you kind of get over the naysayers and all the people that said you were crazy and how could you do that? How did you get to a point where I guess it no longer affected you and you went forward anyway?
So for me, I grew up in a house with a mother who always told me from when I was a little girl that I was going to be a millionaire, that you're special, you're beautiful, you're great, you're independent, like you're strong. So I never had the problem of not knowing my worth.
Right.
I think I was only one of my friends growing up, like looking back, like when I was younger and middle school and high school, those times could be very difficult for girls. And it was definitely some challenges for me, but I think a lot of the times, because I had grown up in an environment where I was told how special and wonderful I was, and given that confidence from a young age, I didn't have the self-doubt that a lot of girls or women, even grown adults have, because I was given that strong foundation. So mothers, if you're watching me, pour into your children, because even when you are not with us, whether, I'm in one state, you're in another country, or if you're called home to be with the Lord, I still hear what you say to me. So even that, your kids can still hear that. So definitely pour into your kids for sure. So, I mean, I think for me, my mom was just like, oh girl, don't listen to them, like they're stupid, they don't know what they're talking about. So having somebody, cheering for you, being your cheerleader, I think was helpful for me. But then also just being able to tell people, you know what, it's my life, it's my choice. So I think, not receiving that energy, just being like, I appreciate you trying to protect me, but this is what I've been called to do and I'm going to do it. And this can be difficult if you're a married lady and your husband is the person who is being the hater. Like if he's the one who is saying, we can't afford this, we only make X, Y, Z, we can only do A, B, C, D. That can even make it more challenging because it's someone who you are, who you decided to build a life with, and this person is not believing in what you want to do. So that could even be more challenging. So it's even more important then to really stay true and be in 100% in agreement with what God's telling you. Because I think once you're in agreement with it, everything else falls into place.
Falls into place,
it's a problem is when you don't agree. Like when you are like, oh, I don't really know. Oh, well, maybe. Why are you picking me? Who am I to say I'm an expert? What do I know about ABC 1, 2, 3? So when you start having that inner dialogue, and that's when the drama happens.
It's true. Or even if it's not drama, I think for me it's kind of analysis paralysis. I feel like I'm confessing now.
It's good for the soul, girl. Let it out.
Good for the soul. Confess one to another. But, I know for me it was, I guess, control. Where just liking to have a plan and see it come through. And I think for me, part of the difficulty with me, moving forward and launching and doing something like this was I couldn't see the how. Okay, I get what you're telling me to do, but I don't know how to do it. I don't know, where to start from, blah, blah, blah. But I think what you said is so true. When you just come into agreement and just surrender, it is amazing the people that God puts in your path, or even online. Suddenly something will just pop up, in your sidebar, or, it's just, there's just something. Exactly. There's always just breadcrumbs, I feel. Like God just leaves for us. And if we just listen to what the Holy Spirit's saying and all of that, then exactly as you said, it will definitely fall into place.
Well, and I think that's so true, because even for me, you know, I'm full time in my business, but I didn't always start off this way. I mean, in the beginning, I was definitely, it was my side hustle, and I was working 3, sometimes 4 jobs at a time to be able to maintain my standard of living. So, you know, I totally get working multiple jobs. I'm not afraid to work. I think, though, for me, I had to reprogram my brain to understand that I don't have to kill myself to make money. Like, I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I don't have to prove anything to nobody. I don't have to be working every hour of every day to feel like validated, like I've earned this money. It's okay to make money with ease. It's okay to make one phone call and get $20,000. That's totally cool. Like, I don't have to work so hard to get money. So I really spent a lot of time working on my money mindset, because you know, for me, growing up in African American community, I was taught you work hard, you get up early, stay late, work 3 or 4 jobs, that's what you gotta do. And so as you get older, though, you're just like, whoa, like, okay, how many years is this supposed to go on? Because I'm getting tired now.
Exactly.
So I know I really had to work on me, you know. And then to your point about, you know, the whole breadcrumb. So this year I really wanted to focus on traveling more and taking more breaks, because you know, in my line of work, it's a very nurturing line of work. So because I'm with parents at a very vulnerable time. They just brought a brand new baby home from the hospital. They're adjusting to life with the baby, and so it's very easy to get caught up on long contracts with long durations of work. I mean, typically I'm working, you know, long hours, like 18 hours a day. It's like, that's a long day. And so I really wanted to focus this year on taking breaks and really focusing on that. And the first thing was just like, oh my God, who's going to go with me? And what if nobody wants to come? Blah, 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 blah. And literally I was like, girl, you're just being a dumb dummy head, because your people are going to come. It's going to be just fine. And literally every time I want to go somewhere, somebody was like, oh yeah, I'll go with you, girl. Let's go. It'll be fun. So I mean, I've been traveling and having fun, and you know, doing trips. And me and one of my girlfriends were just talking about Disney World, and literally Disney World. I was like, why does this girl keep popping up in my Facebook feed? And that's why, because we're going to Disney World in November. So that's why, girl. So it's like the breadcrumbs.
Yes. So I guess to our listeners who are also, you know, because one of the email questions that I get a lot is, okay, Nina, you know, you talk about the weighing of the Bible a lot. You talk about, you know, what our purpose is not, you know, in terms of how we've been kind of trained to look at ourselves and elevating ourselves and all of those sort of things. But how do I actually find my purpose? How do I maybe find that profitable business idea, or, you know, whatever it is that looks like? How would you answer that question?
So I would tell people, you don't have to find it. You already know what it is. You're just resisting the message. Because for me, I knew that I don't know if you guys have heard that, the 7 mountains, but it's like when you've been called to like 7 different parts of business. Like, it could be family. We'll link it up in the comments, and I'll give it to you so people can get this book. But basically, I knew that I was called to work with families. I did not know in what capacity. So for me, I've been working with kids since I was like little, like teenage years. Like one of my first jobs was one of my mom's friends that just had a baby, and I was babysit for her, and he was tiny. So Lord, she must have had a lot of faith in me, girl. So 16-year-old with a tiny baby, Lord Jesus. So, but that was one of my first jobs, and I loved it. And so from then, I always had a natural bond with kids. So I already knew that was my calling, was children. I just didn't know what it was. I thought, oh, maybe I want to be a teacher. Maybe I want to be a psychologist, blah, 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 blah. But it really was, you know, helping younger kids and really empowering women around sleep. Because I mean, anybody who's a mom understands sleep deprivation is a bitch. Like, it is not something that like people don't tell you when you become pregnant, like that some women when they're pregnant can't sleep because of how the baby is positioned. So you already can't sleep, and then the baby comes and then you don't sleep. So now you're going on almost 18 months now of like no sleep if you don't deal with it when the baby is first born. And so, you know, I think that for me, being able to work with women in that initial phase is helpful for them because it gives them the strength to then stand up for themselves and say, okay, these are my limits. I have to be in bed every night by this time.
Right.
My kids have got to be on the schedule because we all need our rest. So if somebody's like wrestling with, oh, what should I do? Who should I turn to for help? I always tell people, look within, because you already have the answer. Like what the answer is, so you can do things like meditation, which I meditate every day. So I'm a huge meditator, stuff like affirmations. Of course you can read books and all that, but at the end of the day, you've already been given the answer. You just have to sit down, be still, and listen for the message. And I think that meditation is very powerful for that, because it forces you to tune out everything so that you can hear what God is saying.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And then when they've kind of figured out what that is, they've taken the steps, they've meditated, they've looked within, what would the next steps be then to, kind of take their purpose and run with it?
Yeah, so I would tell anybody who is thinking about starting a business, or anybody who has one but it's not to the level to where you want it to be, really get clear on who you serve. I mean, because one of the biggest mistakes that anybody can make in the business is saying, oh, I sell lipsticks and every woman in the world can wear lipsticks. Girl, no. Maybe they can. However, it's very overwhelming for you as one person to try to reach billions of women all over the world. So just focusing on women who are cancer survivors, or women who are single mothers, or women who work in corporate America, or even women who are in high-powered corporate America type positions. So really getting clear on who you serve. For me, before you do anything, before you get business cards, websites, do anything, that is what you spend the majority of your time on. I mean, I'm so passionate about that. I tell people, if you don't know how to do that, hire somebody who's going to help you do that, because that is going to determine whether or not your business is profitable from day one, or if you stay stuck in a cycle of feast or famine. Either some days you're making it, some days you don't, or even worse, you never make any money. So now you just have a very expensive hobby that's not bringing you in any money. So I would say that's the first step. So get clear on who you serve. And I would also say, the second step is, once you get clear on who you serve, figure out how you like to work with people. I think that sometimes women default to say, hey, I'm going to join Avon, or I'm going to join, some MLM because it's just easy. It's already done for me. But listen, it's a business. Regardless of what you join, it still work. Like you still have to work it like a business. And anybody who does you any different, they're lying to you. I've had lots of people. I have people in my network who've made millions of dollars from working in MLM. So they definitely work. But again, you have to work it as a business. It can't just be, oh, my little side hustle, and oh, I have a party here and there. No, girl, you got to go balls to the wall if you're serious about making money in your business. That does not mean that you have to kill yourself and work 24 hours a day, but it does mean that you have to get serious about running it like a business. And then the third thing I would tell anybody is to surround yourself with other business owners. You should not be taking advice from your broke ass friends who have never had a business. Literally stop listening to them. They have no idea how to run a business. They have no idea what it takes to run a business, even if it's at your church. So even if your pastor's like, well, I don't think you should do that. If your pastor has never had a business and has never been profitable, you need to stop listening to him. You need to seek wise counsel. Seek wise counsel. Because that is what is going to help you be encouraged, number one, and to stay consistent, because that's what really determines if you're going to be successful. Consistency is the shortest route to success. So those are my two tips.
I love what you said as well about wisdom, taking godly counsel, because I think what needs to be understood is that wisdom comes through experience. Yeah, and I think that's really what you were driving at. There is absolutely no point taking any kind of counsel or any kind of advice from someone who has not had the experience and actually gotten the wisdom themselves. You know, pastor, no pastor. You know, mother, no mother. You know, because
brother, sister, dog, cat, yeah, whoever.
These are the people who usually try to speak it. And I love what you said before about the people who actually were kind of the naysayers before, but oh my gosh, you're crazy, why did you quit your job? You said they were trying to protect you, and I think that's the thing, you know. So a lot of the time when we think about haters and those who are trying to hold us back, we tend to think about it in terms of, oh, it's because they don't like us or they don't want us to prosper. My background is Nigerian, so Nigerians would say, oh, they are enemies of progress, you know. But it's like you said, it's not always that. It's actually sometimes because these people are actually trying to protect you. But then going back to what you said as well about you had to work on yourself. And it was, for you working on money mindset, did you also have to do a lot of personal development type stuff in terms of, because I think, whether it's a MLM, like you said, or business, or, sometimes making that jump from a 9 to 5 into business can be really hard for people because they've still got a 9 to 5 kind of mindset. And so, I mean, did you, well, you said that you grew up around lots of entrepreneurs and stuff, but do you have any tips, for people who maybe need to break that down, the money mindset, but also kind of the 9 to 5 mindset to transition into business as well?
So I would definitely recommend reading the Game of Life and How to Play It. I have it on audiobook, but that book definitely will help you to get into agreements with what needs to happen. I mean, so that will really help you just stop fighting the process, stop fighting the progress, and just really just say, okay, I'm ready now. I would also say I took a course, which I stand behind 100%. This course is one of the few courses that has actually changed my life. And I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's the Lucky Bitch Boot Camp with Denise Duffield-Thomas. And so I'm not an affiliate. However, I should be an affiliate because this course literally changed my life. So being in this course with thousands of other women entrepreneurs who are also working on their money mindset, literally, like that course, the money I paid for that course, literally brought me in probably 20 times what I paid. So I'm telling you that it's like if you have a serious problem with money mindset, get your butt into the boot camp because what you will learn in this course will literally change your life for the better. So that's my folks who are more course people versus people who want to actually read a book, because everybody has like their own kind of learning style. And then I would also say, for me, I would say take it one day at a time. I think in the beginning, we start a business, it's very overwhelming. And if you try to figure out everything all at once, you will give up because it's just too much to figure out. And so I always tell people, focus on what's important. Your number one job when you start a business is to make money. I don't care what anybody's telling you. I don't care what like a church says about money. Oh, money is evil, and if you're rich, you're evil. Girl, quit listening to that BS. It's a bunch of BS. At the end of the day, when you have money, you're able to have an impact. Like what's going on in Puerto Rico right now, we all see how the U.S. government is treating Puerto Rican people. We have celebrities who are renting private planes to get these people supplies. How they do that? They do that with money. Absolutely. It's not because they're beautiful and through osmosis. It's because they have the money and the resources to be able to help. So if you're on a mission and you want to help people, it takes money to achieve that mission. So your job is to make money in your business as ethically and quickly as possible so that you can then turn that money around into the causes that are important to you, taking care of your family, saving for your future, paying off your debts, whatever it is that you know that you need to do. Money is the vehicle that will help you get there. And if you have a resistance to money. If making money, if you feel like making money makes you evil, if you feel like making money means that you're greedy and that who are you to make money, and I can't be rich because if I'm rich enough, then I won't be a good person. Well, then, girl, don't start a business. First thing you need to do is fix your money mindset, because you will never bring in money in your business until your mind is right.
Absolutely.
Period.
It's true. It is so true. I think, sometimes when we hear these things about money mindset and affirmations and law of attraction and da 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 da, I think that there are sometimes some Christians who think that these concepts are new. But they're not. I mean, they're biblical as well. As a man thinketh, so is he. And all these other scriptures. You reap what you sow. All those are biblical concepts. Those are things that God, principles that He laid out. And one of the things, I think it was Miles Monroe actually that I heard say this before he died, which was, the fact of the matter is that when God made the world, He also made principles, and when you learn what those principles are, it just makes life so much easier, because then you just know. It's just like when you're playing a game. If you know the rules to the game, then you have every chance of winning.
Right.
Same, whether it's a money mindset, business,
right.
it's worth the investment, right?
Oh, for sure. And I think that the Game of Life book, definitely for people who have money mindset issues, or just around, because that's a book that's based on scripture. So that's a book that's based on scripture. So for people who want more biblically scripture based, then I would definitely say get that one. And I say get the audiobook, because I'm an auditory learner. So for me, if I really want to retain information, I need to hear it repeat like over and over again. So for me, audiobooks like the best thing ever created in life, because I can literally rewind, replay. And so, but if you want to read it, it's in book form, too, as well. So definitely.
Yeah, no, I totally love that. I think you've dropped so many gems, so many kind of truth bombs on us and stuff like that. So seriously, thank you so much. But just before we end, I always have these sort of quick fire game type questions that I like to ask. So the first one I'd love to ask you is, do you have a favorite woman of the Bible? And if so, kind of who and why?
I will be honest with you. I did not have a favorite woman of the Bible, not because women are not important, because clearly we are.
Okay.
I just, for me, I feel like I have more favorite parts of the Bible versus favorite women or people in general in the Bible, to be completely honest with you. I think one of my favorite takeaways that I get from the Bible, and I've had this since I was a little girl, was all about who you surround yourself with. I mean, so one of the stories I always remember is about when the Pharisees were beating up on Jesus because he was, healing people, and they were like, "Who are you to come in here and heal people? And they need to be sick." And it's just so, I think, for me, that principle of knowing who you are, standing in your truth. I didn't know that when I was a little girl, but that principle has stayed with me my entire life. And so whenever I feel myself, kind of wavering or not being sure, I said, girl, listen, if they gonna talk about Jesus and say he don't need to be doing something he don't need to do, understand that they're gonna come for you too. But it's up to you to determine how you're gonna react to that. Are you gonna believe them, or are you gonna believe Jesus? I mean, so that's that for me has really been something that a concept that I use probably on a daily basis.
That is so true. I think you're a lady after my own heart. I have said that to other people, as I'm like, look, they talked about Jesus. How are they not going to talk about
right? Exactly. Well, and also, and for me, I think it's not the for me, people are going to say what they're going to say.
Yeah.
It's up to you to either receive that energy or to block that energy. That's your choice. And so I always tell people, it's your life, your choice. Just because somebody says it doesn't make it true. Only way it makes it true is if you agree with them and you believe it. That's it.
That is so, so true. Thank you for that. And so if you had to finish this sentence, so I am a Christian woman who is, how would you finish that?
I would say I'm a Christian woman who is in total agreement with all the wonderful things that God has said about me.
I love that. I love that, yeah.
It took me a long time to get here, girl. This is definitely not like, oh, I woke up this morning and, oh, I'm free. No, friends. Let's be real clear here. It took me a long time to get here, but I'm definitely happy that I'm in this space for sure.
And I think just kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, that's what needs to be understood. I think sometimes when we see other people who seem to be so accomplished and, I'm in agreement with everything that God has said and, he's got for me. And I think other people who maybe are not there can think it was easy for you. Right. But I love the fact that you said, look, it took a while. It's work. It's work.
For me, I'm always choosing to see things positively.
Yes.
Was harder for me than automatically saying, oh, whatever. It is what it is. It'll just be what it be. And I'll just have a plan B. And it doesn't matter if it didn't work. That to me is easy. Standing in agreements, that was hard for me. So, I think anybody who's watching now and like you're in a place where you just feel like nothing's working for you and things aren't going right, and you feel like God has forgotten about you. I always tell people, God never forgets about any of us. He loves us more than we will ever understand. Absolutely. It is our job to agree with him. Because the more you fight him, the more you feel like the world is against you. So you need to get into agreements with it, whatever that is for you. And everybody has their own story. I have my own story. For me, I lost both my parents to cancer. I've almost been homeless before. I haven't had money in my bank account to eat before. So like people come to me and say, oh, girl, you got it so good. Let me tell you something. You have no idea what it took to get here. And so I definitely tell people, even if you're in a job right now that you hate, if anybody gets it, it's me. Because I definitely had jobs where I'm just like, Jesus, I'm only here to get this paycheck, Lord. The moment you give me another job, I am out quickly. So I get it and I understand, but just know we get what we believe. So if you believe that you have to accept these low-paying jobs because you have to pay your bills, then you're only going to get low-paying jobs, right? But if you believe, hey, this job is just a stepping stone to my greater and to my happy ending, then you will always get promoted. You will always get opportunities coming from you. So you definitely have to be what you seek. You have to speak what you seek because literally you're listening, like literally. So if you're always saying, oh, these men out here ain't no good. Oh, I could never keep any money. Every time I get some money, I got to pay a bill. Well, then, girl,
that's what you're going to get.
Every time you're going to get some money, you're going to have to pay a bill. So it's just, we need to speak life. We need to say, I manage money well. Every time that I get money, I'm able to save it and use it for the betterment of my family and others. I attract jobs that are perfect for me. I have bosses who support me and want to see me do well. Every time money comes to me, it stays around for a very long time. I am a money magnet. Money flows to me easily. These are the things that you need to say to yourself on a daily basis if you are serious about changing your current story, about rewriting your current story. If you're really serious about standing in power with your money or standing in power with anything, not have to be just money. It could be relationships. It could be anything. you can say affirmations for literally anything.
Right.
So whatever you're struggling with, you can literally sit down and write 10 affirmations that will literally turn it around, and you say them every day to retrain your subconscious to believe it, because once you believe it, you'll see it.
Absolutely. So true. And second to last one, actually. So I am a Christian woman who is not.
I'm not a Christian woman who is a holy roller. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I am not a Christian woman who is a judgmental person.
Right.
I really believe that people have the choice to live life however they want to live it. So if they are homosexual, transgender, if they're queer, if they're black, white, yellow, blue, green, if they vaccinate their kids, they don't vaccinate their kids, if they are a crunchy mama who believes kids should be breastfed till they're 2 years old, or if she's a CEO mama who is like, I'm not breastfeeding my baby at all because I got shit I got to do, regardless of whatever it is. People have the choice and the right to live their life however they see fit. And I think a lot of times in the church, there's a lot of boundaries put up for people who don't fit into a certain box, who don't act a certain way, look a certain way, who don't do things that the pastor thinks should be, or the first lady, as some people say. They don't do things as they would have things done, so that they're not treated in a welcoming manner. And that's just not the God who I serve. You know, I tell people, I don't know which God you serve, because maybe there's another one I don't know about. I don't know. But the one I serve, he does not treat people that way. No, he literally leads with love, and he welcomes people in because he knows that by welcoming people into the fold, that it makes us all better.
This is
because I mean, it literally makes us all better. So I know for a fact in churches it's not always like that. So if you're in a church family who are very, and this happens a lot too. I grew up Southern Baptist. Southern Baptists, like, they are known for being very like judgmental, and this is how it has to be. And so if you find yourself, and that's not to say all of them are like that, because that's just that's not true. But if you find yourself in an environment where you feel like you're being judged by Judgy McJudgerson, who thinks that she or he is better than you, then I would encourage you to change your location. Because at the end of the day, God is everywhere. And it doesn't matter what church you go to, or even if you choose not to go to church, that's fine too. He's everywhere. You don't have to be tied to one particular place in order to hear his message.
Yeah. I think what I would also tag on to that is, not only is there God's love for everybody, but there's also grace for all as well.
Right.
Because I think that with a lot of these boundaries and this stuff that is put up, we tend to I don't know, act as if there's a hierarchy of sin. So this one's worse than that one, and that one. No. Okay. Scripture says if you break one, you break them all. We're all empty. And that is the reason for Jesus is coming. So I think what is really important also is to realize we are all just living and breathing and going by God's grace, and that no sin is greater or less than the other. We're all his children.
I agree with that, because definitely in my church growing up, there was a definitely sin hierarchy for sure. Yes. So
some of them were let slide, the others shot a torch on. It's like, okay, but
so definitely I can definitely amen you on that one for sure.
And do you have, any other kind of final words of encouragement, any other wisdom? And please also let people know where they can find you, if you've got any free gifts, whatever you'd like to say.
Yeah, so let's start off with the free gift. So if you are a mama who has a sweet baby who you love to pieces, but these constant nighttime wake-ups are wearing you out, girl, I have a free cheat sheet for you that is literally going to change your life for the better. And it's really my 4 best tips to get your baby on a schedule, because I know that once you get your baby on a schedule, it will help everything else to fall into place. So you can head on over to Busy Mom's Guide to BabySeatTraining.com, enter in your name and your email address, and I will send that cheat sheet right on over to you.
I'll put
And
that
then
in the
if
show
you,
notes as well.
oh, perfect. And then if you're a mama who is looking more for a full online program, I also have a great program called the Feel Like Yourself Again Baby Sleep Solution. And in this program, I walk you through the 6 steps you have to follow to get your baby to sleep through the night. And no, I will not tell you to close the door, let your baby cry all night long. That's a big thing. People are like, well, that's a let her sit there and just cry and not do anything. No, no, no. So I walk you through the steps. I mean, this is the system that I was telling you about earlier, where, I spent 50,000 hours of my time fine-tuning this system. It's been tested on over 1,000 babies. So listen, I don't care if you have a new baby, a baby with reflux, a colicky baby, a strong-willed baby, if you have a baby who is breastfed, rocked, held, whatever the case may be, my system, the Feel Like Yourself Again Baby Sleep Solution, it will help you. So you can get all the details over at sleepwellwithkathy.com/flyer, and that's F is in Frank, L is in love, Y is in yellow, A is in apple. Enter in your name and email address, and then I'll take you right over to the sales page, and you can learn all about it. Now, for words of encouragement, I definitely want to tell whoever's watching this is that you are enough. Whatever your gifts, your talents, your vision, your words, they are enough. There's nothing else that has to be done in order to validate you or your vision for what you want your life to be. You were brought into this world whole. And so now it's up to you to take the action that you need to take, whether that's hiring a coach to help you get all the thoughts out of your head onto paper and actually make it into a valuable business, whether that's actually talking to people who would be a great fit for your service or your program, getting them on the phone and actually talking to them to actually close your first sale, or if it's just as simple as sending out an email to people who need to follow up and follow through. But whatever that is, get busy. Every day that you don't work, there's somebody literally sitting around in a corner crying, waiting for you to be their solution. So like that, I just want people to understand that that's what's on the line. Somebody's literally sitting around waiting for you, and because you won't get your shit together, they are suffering and are left without solutions. So you owe it to yourself, and you also owe it to the people who can't wait to work with you to get your life all the way together and get this business off the ground.
Oh, I love it. I'm just like, yes! Thank you so much. I'm telling you, I mean, I know that the ladies watching this are gonna be like super empowered by it, but even just me, I'm the whole way through, I'm like, yes, amen, I received that. Seriously, so many nuggets dropped. I so appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, well, thank you so much for having me. This has definitely been a fun time. I always love to pour into people because I know when I started, somebody had to pour into me. So I'm happy to share my wisdom and my nuggets and my truth with everybody else, just to be that encouragement to people. Let them know that there is hope no matter what you've been through. This is only up from here. So like if you're down in the bottom in the valley right now, girl, that's good. So that means you can only go up from here. That means that's literally the only direction you can go is up from here. And so just knowing that is encouragement enough to just keep on keeping on.
Yes. Thank you so much. Right. So
Bye. Okay, so you're gonna.
How amazing was that interview? Now, if you were just as blown away as I was by all of Tamiko's kind of pearls and gems of wisdom, then definitely like and share this video with anyone else that you know kind of needs to hear this message as well. And I would love to hear your biggest takeaways. So definitely feel free to comment below and let's continue this conversation. And if you would like to see like more videos like this, more interviews, or even just more where I just can pour into you and inspire you in your journey to kind of knowing your worth, your power, your purpose, and, you know, stepping up, stepping out, and shining as the woman of God that you are, then I would love to continue to support you on that journey. So, also click the subscribe button below and the bell. That's what I was trying to think of. The bell. Because yes, if you click on the subscribe button, then, you know, you kind of have access to all my other videos after this, but then you might not get notified. So what clicking the bell does is make sure you are also notified every time I post a new video, which is every single week. So until next week, my love, you take care, be blessed, and we will speak again soon. Bye.